Welcome to Getting Started with Microsoft Excel 2013. In this lesson, we're going to identify the elements of the Microsoft Excel interface. We're going to learn how to create a basic worksheet and get you comfortable with the parts of the screen. And then we're going to move into using the help system. In this topic, we're going to focus on identifying the elements of the Microsoft Excel interface. We're going to see what is unique about Microsoft Excel 2013, and I'm going to explain the difference between spreadsheets, worksheets, and workbooks. We're going to examine the Microsoft Excel interface and the parts of the screen, and we'll talk about cell references and something called the formula bar. We'll also learn about the Go-To feature, screen tips, and key tips. Microsoft Excel 2013 is part of an entire suite of products that includes other things like Outlook and PowerPoint and Word. In order to launch this product, you should have it installed, of course, and you'll notice that you need to select the Excel 2013 icon to launch the product. Microsoft Excel consists of spreadsheets, worksheets, and workbooks. And it's important that you understand the difference between that. The terminology spreadsheet is rather general. It kind of refers to the whole product. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet product. But within that, we have two levels. We have a workbook, which is really the whole entire product. Notice, it encompasses the entire window. Within that window, we have something called the worksheet, and that's really just your work area. On the worksheet, we have individual cells, columns, and rows. The intersection of a column and a row is what we refer to as a cell. So up here in the top of my slide, you'll notice that I have a column called D, a row called 5. If I go to the intersection of D5, that cell contains the number 39. Here we have an example of a workbook window with all of the interface components that you need to understand. The entire workbook window comprises your screen, and in the upper left-hand corner we have something called the Quick Access Toolbar. Now that Quick Access Toolbar consists of little icons that we'll discuss in detail in a little while, but I want you to understand that this Quick Access Toolbar can be modified according to what you would like to see on there. And then right below that, we have something called the ribbon. And the ribbon has tabs. As you switch between those tabs, you will see completely different choices in this area at the top of your screen. Now the real heavy lifting in Microsoft Excel happens here on this formula bar, where you can see the contents of whatever cell you happen to be in and do things like write formulas and write your content. Of course, then you have your actual spreadsheet area where you see your columns and rows and cells as we discussed. Occasionally, to the left of that, you will have a task pane show up, and that doesn't appear all of the time. It depends on what feature you've selected from up here in the ribbon. And then at the very bottom of your workbook window, you have something called the status bar. And in the lower right-hand corner especially, there's some nice action there on the status bar. You can do things like zooming in and out on your spreadsheet and changing the way the spreadsheet appears. So those are the key components of the Excel interface. Now we want to talk a little more specifically about this formula bar area. So I'm focusing right here on the formula bar. As I mentioned, this little area here is where you will see your cell contents. Whatever you have typed into a particular cell will appear there, whether it's a number or a formula or text of some sort. To the left of that, you have the capacity to cancel, accept, or go into a function area. And to the left of that, you have something called the cell reference name box. This shows you what cell you are currently sitting in, and if you've named that cell, you'll see the cell name there rather than the cell reference. In Microsoft Excel, you are frequently working with large spreadsheets with lots of data. In that case, you don't want to sit there and scroll to get down to what you're looking for. So they've given us a feature called Go To. It's located under Find and Select in the Edit panel on the ribbon. There's another way to get here though, and that's hitting F5 on your keyboard. Either way, you go into a Go To box where you can type in the specific cell reference you would like to jump to, and it will take you there immediately. Excel 2013 offers us something called Screen Tips. As you move your mouse along the ribbon, in this case my mouse is pointing to the B for bold in the font group, you'll notice that up comes a little drop down that tells me information or tips about what I'm pointing to. So in this case it tells me that this is bold, that I could hit Control B to access it if I wanted to, and it tells me the action that it's going to take if I select the B. Another option that you have, and this is especially useful for people with disabilities who need to use keyboard and do not have the ability to use a mouse, they've given us something called Key Tips. And what you do is you press the Alt key on your keyboard and it will bring up options. Notice here under Page Layout it's a P. Under Formulas it's an M. It tells you what keystroke you could hit to access an area rather than having to take your mouse and click on that area.